Hey everybody, this is Natalie from Light of Ascension Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is a reading for those who are experiencing despair and or dark night of the soul, okay? And if you've been going through it lately, you are not alone. Things in the world have been super hard. I almost think in a lot of ways 2021 has been harder than 2020, because in 2020 we were kind of learning to cope with the new reality, and in 2021 I feel like a lot of us thought that, you know, things would change or things would, you know, and for the better, and in some respects I think they have, and in some respects I think it's been very tough for people still. And you know, we're definitely not out of the woods yet when it comes to, you know, our evolution, and I don't mean that to sound you know, depressing or difficult or, you know, but I think we as people, you know, there's a lot of despair in the collective right now, and it's definitely something that I've picked up on. There's a lot of unrest, despair, a lot of people that aren't really sleeping well at night, a lot of people that are deeply unhappy with some area of their life, feeling like they failed, feeling like they're, you know, and also just deep grief, I think too. There's deep grief on our planet right now, and the earth has deep grief as well. You know, the hurricanes, the events that we've had on a, you know, on the spiritual plane and on the earth plane have been very grief inducing for a lot of people. And so I just wanted to take that acknowledgement right now to acknowledge those of you and anybody out there who is suffering with great feelings of heaviness, despair, depression, dark night of the soul, and just send my loving and open-hearted greetings to you, and thank you for being here today. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. Of course, you know, when we go through dark night of the soul, we always hope that there's some, you know, there's some spiritual upgrade at the end of that, right? Or there's some reward for our obedience, in the sense that we've submitted and surrendered to what is transpiring in our lives, right? That we haven't resisted it, that we've gone fully into it, accepting what is, and we've done our best to kind of, you know, parcel through, work through, carry on, and work through the energy, okay? So let's go ahead and see. Hopefully we can get some great messages of hope and renewal, and maybe a peek or hint into what's on the other side of this, right? What is on the other side of this? And of course, to be human is to despair, and that's part of the human experience. And we all know that. And if you're watching this reading, I'm sure you're very well aware that that is part of, you know, being a human being. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. We have pile number 1 with the copper pyramid. Okay, so if you're drawn to this copper pyramid, you're going to choose pile number 1. If you're drawn to the Smokey Quartz, you're going to choose pile number 2. If you're drawn to the Apache tier, you're going to choose pile number 3. Okay, so that's copper pyramid, Smokey Quartz, Apache tier. Pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. So let's just take a minute and anchor into the energy for you guys today, and ask Spirit be with us. Ask our guardians and our angels to step forward today and shelter our path. Please and thank you as we embark upon this journey. And let's go ahead and get into the piles. You can go to the description box below to go directly to your pile. If you're wondering, I do offer personal readings, and details for how to get a personal reading are in the description box below. So thank you so much for being here every day and with me, and in every day, in every way, we show up for ourselves and we show up for each other, okay? And let's go ahead and drop into the energy. Let's do it. Let's do it. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the Copper Pyramid, and today is a reading for those who are experiencing despair, dark night of the soul, and have just been literally going through it lately, going through some tough times, okay? And yeah, and we say, you know, in the past, dark night of the soul was really, I mean, it's a term that's been around for a very long time and used in many different ways. And in poetry, in modern day works, in a certain religious aspect as well. So this term's been around, dark night of the soul, for a long time. And as human beings, of course, we always go through these periods of being unsure and feeling just unsure of what path to take next. Yeah, there it is, Judgment, there in the bottom of the deck, releasing the chains on our soul, ascending, moving out of that place of oppression and moving into liberation. Okay, so pile number 1, let's go ahead and get into it. And let's go ahead and get some messages for you today regarding your experience when it comes to dark night of the soul or feelings of despair. Pile number 1, we have card 44 here, visions of life beyond death. And of course, dark night of the soul can also be, as I mentioned, like really almost, it's bringing you closer into union with God and to universal truths. And that's why you have the owl and the birds on top of her head. You also have the peacock and the owl together. And, you know, in the past, owls are very beautiful creatures, but they've also been, like, if you look up the symbolism of them, a lot of people will say sometimes an owl feels like a bad omen or death approaching, right? Which definitely can have that dark night of the soul feel to it. Also with the peacock here, but the peacock is about our vitality, you know, and here this owl is looking, it's like looking at the face of death or looking at the things that are extremely hard to look at, right? And like facing them head on, right? And still maintaining some sense of vitality, of your individuality. It's still being able to maintain that even when you're looking some stark truths directly in the face, right? And we're gonna talk more about this card. This is from Alana Fairchild, Sacred Rebels, okay? So I'm gonna read from the book in a little bit here regarding that. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but we'll look at it. And you know, the one thing about this Copper Pyramid, out of all of these choices, this one is pretty heavy. Just as far as like the weight of it, it's pretty heavy. So some of you guys in pile number 1, I mean, could you hear that when I set it down? It was kind of like a boom. Some of you guys may have been, you know, hearing that heaviness come down, okay? Or feeling that heaviness come down on you. And the peacock reminds us to understand, like, it's our journey to walk, it's no one else's to walk, and we are unique, we are different, and we do have powerful gifts to share with the world, okay? We have meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. So to me, I feel like this is like relief, you know, washing over after a period of, you know, facing some pretty harsh truths or facing some pretty harsh realities, right? And, you know, to me, this seems like you're more in flow with life after this period of dark night of the soul, okay? You're after this, it's like a revitalization. It's a new moon in Pisces, right? The new moon in Pisces happens usually, you know, in late February or the first couple weeks of March, as the new moon in Pisces happens when the sun is in conjunction to the moon, which is the new moon in Pisces, right? So, you know, for some of you, that could be, let's see, we're in September now. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, right? Like 7 months, 8 months type of thing. So this may have been going on for some months for you, either 7 to 8 months before now, and then looking at March of next year as well, that new moon in Pisces. But I also think, you know, meditating and contemplating is something that your guides would like you to do right now. We have alchemy, seeing things from multiple perspectives, I feel here as well. Alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. Yeah, so there's some deep alchemy happening for you. And I do think it's also increasing your crown chakra, your third eye, and this dark night of the soul that you've been going through. And birds may have a significance for you. Spirit's also giving me like an acorn as well. But birds may have significance for you, like the owl or the peacock, okay? Because those, and the fish as well showing up here. But bringing all these symbols together so that you work more fluidly. You work more with just the energy available rather than, you know, questioning yourself, second guessing yourself. It's like you're in flow and you just work with what's there and you just trust it and you go with it. No questions asked, right? And that kind of inner trust, I think, is something that's happening here too, pile number one. And we have, acorn and the squirrel. That's so funny. Spirit was showing me the acorn right near the owl there. And here's the squirrel, which of course, it says, squirrel, always prepared. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future and life will give you all you need, okay? Yeah, so visions of life beyond death. I also feel too, you know, for those of you that are mediums or you want to work with that energy, I do think Spirit is preparing you for that right now. Always prepared. Spirit is also preparing your third eye, your wisdom, and, you know, your inner beauty, I feel like is something that is unfolding for you right now. And with this squirrel energy, with the acorn, you know, you may be, even though you're going through hard times, you show up for others and you help others, even though you may be struggling, I feel, pile number one, or you may be going through, you know, the dark night of the soul, feeling despair, but yet you still work hard and you still do your best to maintain a positive attitude, right? And you're very good at staying the course once you commit to it, okay? And this dark night of the soul is just to kind of, I think, almost with alchemy and the new moon in Pisces, just to kind of bring the two sides of you together here, to kind of integrate the dark and the light, okay? We have the Hangman. Ooh, yeah, along with the meditation and contemplation. And she's so cute in this reading. You could have Pisces or Neptune heavy in your chart. And I feel like she may be keeping her world a little bit small or holding back a little bit here, pile number one. And there's a great big world out there. There's so many things that you haven't seen and experienced yet. And it's kind of like going beyond the veil. I also feel here too with this Hangman, you know. I also feel you're up leveling in your skill, some type of intuitive skill or whatever it is that you're doing. You're being held right now at a certain point to have this deep realization as you're being held in stillness. And that may be frustrating at times, pile number one, or feel very heavy, like I mentioned earlier. But, you know, you're kind of being held at this 0 point so that, you know, you can take everything that you've learned and integrate it into one. Oh, strength, of course. Of course, the noble lion and the beautiful girl here. And she is gently closing its jaws and stroking its hair and saying, it's okay, calm down. You're going to be just fine, right? And I feel like this is your you know, some of you guys may have lions as a spirit animal, or may have a lion energy protecting you at this time. But I do think, you know, you're in command and you're in control, even if at times it seems like you're not, or other people are stifling you, etc., stifling creativity, etc. You're the one that has the power. I feel like ultimately, at the end of the day, pile number one, you're going to be the one that has the final say here, okay? And if you felt held back, you know, your courage is picking up steam here. And as they say, do not go gently into that dark night, right? With the strength card and the hangman. Well, the strength card is all about being gentle, being gentle with yourself, right? And there is a lot of gentleness going on. And I feel like Spirit's kind of easing you into something, is easing you into something here, and is telling you not to give up. All right, don't give up. We have snow quartz and white light. The white color of snow quartz represents purification, cleanliness, and innocence. It helps you to surround yourself with white light, bring spiritual protection and connection to your angels and spirit guides. Carrying snow quartz is like having a snow angel in your pocket. And this owl actually looks like a snow owl, which is interesting. I surround myself with a white light of protection. Only good energy is allowed in and around my space. Yeah, the lion is also protecting you here, and Spirit is holding you at this 0 point where you can stay very protected and grounded and prepare yourself for this integration that you're going through right now. And we have balancing act. Okay. Yeah, so that's something that, you know, very delicate. I feel like things could have been very delicate lately, pile number one, and teetering on the edge, right? Teetering on the edge. And, you know, it looks like if she shifts her movements at all, or if she takes one step in a different direction, that whole ship is going to fall over, okay? And so you may feel like you've had to have a lot of strength and a lot of discipline to get through this period, and that it's been a real balancing act at times. And maybe you've had to make some compromises, right? Card number 11 in the tarot is a justice card too. So, you know, like you've really had to maybe make some compromises, or just keep up and act, you know, and act like, you know, something isn't bothering you when it really is, or you have so much going on and it's hard to keep everything on the straight and narrow, okay? And we have balance again. So this is a big thing, balancing act and balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Okay, so that's what's the energy that's trying to reach you right now is an energy of preparation, balance, alchemy, white light, meditation, all right, and visions of life beyond death. And, you know, dark night of the soul can feel like an ego death, right? And death doesn't have to mean actual death. It can be, you know, visions of what life is going to be like after you get through this 0 point that you've been held in. At the same time, you've been fortified by the white light, by this snow quartz here. We have Morgan Le Fay, the Witch of Ages, atonement, growth, and deceit. Okay, so, you know, there may be people that have been deceitful with you, or people that have been, you know, crossed a line with you, or pushed their luck with you in a way where things haven't been fair at times, pile number one. And I'm going to read this Morgan Le Fay here to get a better idea. But here she's raising this skull up in the air like, I've got this. You know, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to conquer my fears. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to embrace this, you know, the Witch of the Ages. Okay. So something about a balancing act that you've been having in your life right now, pile number one, requiring you to be very delicate with what you're doing. And a lot of gentleness with yourself also is what I see here. So let's look at Morgan Le Fay. Witch of the Ages, a treacherous, deceitful villain in life, Morgan Le Fay spent an age of atonement for her wickedness. Wow, the Hangman. an age of atonement for her wickedness, before being set free to wander where she wished in Awin. A trickster and a shapeshifter, she takes on the form and nature of all she encounters, the better to learn of it and its place in the world beyond. Morgan Le Fay reminds us that through service, even the wickedest among us may learn from our misdeeds, that a lie is a tool which can be used for good or ill, and the best way to learn of others is to spend time while walking in their footsteps. Atonement, growth, and deceit. So, talking about maybe some of you guys feeling like you need to atone for something that you did, or someone else in your life should atone for something they did, right? Or you experience some type of defeat or deceit that really involved a deep ego death for you, pile number 1. And I want to go ahead and look at this Visions of Life Beyond Death, card 44 here. Let's go ahead and see what we can find here, if we can tie this all together for you. Okay. Sacred vision is awakening within you. You are being, I mentioned the third eye and the sacred vision. You're becoming blessed with the ability to truly see what is real rather than what appears to be, right? The owl, what's a beautiful lie, or what's the truth, right? This is true insight. What was once considered consequential may soon be found to hold little consequence after all. What was once dismissed as an irritation or irrelevance may be seen to have great spiritual significance. As mundane as something once appeared it could be, now be worthy of absolute attention. The gift of genuine vision takes you beyond the universal creator, takes you into the being of the universal creator. This is the sacred terrain beyond logic, convention, and that which is limited in any way. The more open you are to receiving true vision, the more love you will feel and recognize within and around you. Something may appear to change form, to be shed, to be lost, or to die, but there is always love within it always. The realization doesn't remove the pain of the loss. Yeah, those of you that have been going through deep loss, all right, and held at this 0 point, maybe at times feeling very unprepared, for what was coming, all right? And the more open you are to receiving true vision, the more love you will feel and recognize within and around you. This realization doesn't remove the pain of loss. It does provide a way through which it can be healed and eventually transformed into peace. Yeah, meditation and contemplation, Pisces, okay? The vision of love, the truth of all that is, can move us more than anything else possibly can. If you have been wondering about your life path, or whether you should take action on a project, or you need inspiration to really move you out of a slump you have fallen into, then this oracle brings you a message of hope. You will receive your vision. You will be graced with a way out of the stagnancy. You will be able to see things differently and more accurately. Any confusion or uncertainty you have felt is going to pass, and you will be left with clear insight. The stories you have been feeling and feeding yourself or telling yourself may end up looking different than how they appear now. This may surprise you, but the vision that is coming to you will be more truthful and therefore freeing. It'll be worth the shock, the surprise, the moment of embarrassment when you realize you've been operating under false assurance or deluding yourself about the truth of a situation. Those moments will pass, and they are not something to feel bad about. They signify that you are leaving behind a smaller view for a more expansive one. They are a sign that you have outgrown your older version or your older vision in order to live in a bigger one. This is good. There might be a moment when your ego feels a bit dented, but sure enough, that too will pass. This oracle comes with additional guidance for you. You are being watched over by life and held in protection. Yep, the lion. Whatever has been bothering you will not harm you. You will prevail. If you are concerned that someone is getting in the way of something or blocking your path, and it seems like there's nothing you can do about it, don't worry. The all-seeing eye of life perceives everything without exception. Okay, this oracle is asking you to shift your perspective and look at an issue of concern a little differently. Okay, I call upon the universal eye to show me the most helpful way to see this situation of concern now. And this oracle comes with an additional message that your ability to perceive is expanding into truth. Your ability to be inspired and to see the light in all things is unfolding. It must be nourished in your heart with loving acceptance, because you are going to help others through your vision, your art, and how you choose to be in the world. The healing process below will help you accept and anchor this developing gift. All right, so a developing gift asking you to tap into your meditation, into your the alchemy of who you are, the white light, all right, and all the work, the hard work that you've been doing to atone or balance these energies. I feel for you, pile number 1, okay? So let's go ahead and get some messages from the Light Seers Tarot. Spirits, angels, and guides, what can you tell pile number 1? What can you tell, first of all, what is this atonement about? What is this atonement? What is this atonement pile number 1 is going through? 2 of Cups, to be open to receive more love, to be able to stand in unity. All right, let's see, to heal wounds of the heart. 10 of Pentacles, yeah, to move you into a period that's more trusting and stable and grounded. And maybe some of you feeling like you don't deserve this, like you don't deserve love, or you don't deserve companionship, or you don't deserve a commitment to your own happiness, right? Or your own, or just to be with others, to share a vision of the future together with someone else, right? And to have your own vision of the future, which reflects your highest goals and dreams and values. Also too, you know, feeling enriched with life because we have people around us that truly see us and support us, right? Because the 10 of Pentacles is a card of wealth. You know, it's the Lord of Wealth. And the 2 of Cups is about opening the heart and being vulnerable, all right? The wealth in the heart. We have the Hierophant and we have the 7 of Swords. So yeah, I mean, if you've been talk about deceit, right, with Morgan Le Fay and the Witch of the Ages, if you've been growing personally through patterns where other people left you, abandoned you, deceived you, or just were out for their own, you know, they were out for their own, or they only cared about how they looked in a situation, I feel like, you know, this is changing now, pile number 1. And you're with the Hierophant here. This is like my favorite Hierophant out of any of the decks. He's so relaxed. He's so in tune with the earth. He's completely connected, he or she, completely connected to universal energy, and sees life, you know, instead of seeing life as there's danger around every corner and I can't trust anyone and all these people are, you know, wishing me ill, etc. It's like he really is laughing at life, you know, and he can see the pathway, you know, the pathway to enlightenment, the road to enlightenment here. And he finds it funny and interesting and engaging. And, you know, the universe is fun again. The universe is interesting again. And things are more meaningful. You know, with the Hierophant, we understand the reason behind the pain, you know, certain painful experiences that we had, and how those experiences have changed the way that we look at things, right? And I feel for some of you guys, you're going to become less attached to the way you see things or certain beliefs. You're going to, you know, see it as like a divine comedy, right? Instead of, and I think it's going to help take some of the pressure off, because some of you guys with this balancing act, you might have been under a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure to be strong, to hang in there, to, you know, and also too with the whole ego death and, you know, the ego being wounded a little bit. I think your perspective on that is definitely going to shift. And you're going to see how, like, it makes way for, you know, stronger connection, better community building, better, you know, better, like, you can see each other for who each other are. Things become healthy again, okay? And very grounding, very stabilizing energy after what you've been going through. All right, instead of feeling like you're on a tightrope and you're on a balancing act, you're like, I'm grounded now. I can see the path and I can see where I'm headed, and I know I'm also free to change my mind about things. Okay, so I hope that that was helpful to you, pile number 1. I hope that that helped open up your energy a little bit. I know it's hard, like when you're going through despair and things seem really hard and they've seemed hard for a long time. I mean, I'm encouraged that you guys got this white light here because I feel you are very protected. All right, and it's like having a snow angel in your pocket, okay? So thanks so much, pile number 1, and I hope to see you again real soon. Take care. Let's go ahead and move into pile number 2. Okay. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose the Smokey Quartz, and today's reading is for those of you who are experiencing despair, dark night of the soul, things have just been very tough lately. Maybe you've been going through some difficult ego death, or you've been forced to release things, forced to walk away from things. You could be dealing with grief and despair about, you know, it's like when the bottom falls out, right? Spirit just gave me that song. I think it was from the 90s. When the bottom falls out, right? There's a lyric like that, okay? So when we're going through those really dark night of the soul periods and we feel deep in despair, okay? And I love this Smoky Quartz. I've channeled with it so many times. It's very grounding energy. It feels very certain in a world that can be so uncertain, you know? So let's channel it in pile number 2. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the beautiful energy of my pile number 2s and help me lighten the load for my beautiful pile number 2s. Okay, pile number 2, let's go ahead and get after it. Let's see what's coming up for you here. We have Bring It Into Form, card 41. All right, so bringing something new into form, and that's exciting. That's exciting. When you're being brought, something new is being brought into form, it can feel, you know, like you're being tested hardcore, you know, and that you've kind of been stripped down to nothing. It can also feel that way too. I'm seeing the dragonflies in the background as well. There's like many of them here flying around in the background. Be bold and make the first move. Cardinal moon. Okay. So the cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, and they are the initiating signs. And yeah, so you could have that energy in your chart, or for some reason there's some important, maybe there's a transit you're experiencing right now to your moon, or maybe you're like a moon in Aries, moon in Cancer, moon in Libra, moon in Capricorn, sun or moon or rising sign. But Spirit is saying, you know, it's the reason why you've been going through this dark night of the soul is because there's something you're supposed to bring through on the other side of this. There's something new you're supposed to be starting or bringing into form. And a lot of times that happens, you know, we second guess ourselves at the threshold. What is all this for? Why is this happening, right? But, you know, Spirit is saying, you know, in this time, like, be bold and make the first move, okay? We have synergy, 41 and 41. So we have bring it into form for card 41 and synergy 41. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, and loving and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. All right, so yeah, this period, maybe wondering, what do I do next? Where do I go now? Now that I've done this, what should I do next, right? And Spirit is saying here, like, it's time to bring something new and exciting forward. And it's also good for you to make the first move as a way to kind of get through this, okay? We have Raccoon, Inventor. How interesting. Look at the butterfly here too. The dragonflies, the butterflies. Things are definitely changing. If people have been unreceptive to your ideas, or you feel like people haven't really been interested in what you're doing, and you've been trying so hard and you've been very innovative and you're thinking of brand new solutions to things, right? Then this reading is definitely for you. It says, decide on what you really want. You have the ingenuity to claim it. Avoid being the trickster and practice integrity. You have many roles and can juggle them well, right? So it's definitely important to be in integrity. And yes, you have many roles, but they're all you, you know? They're all you. And maybe some of you have side hustles, or you have things, you know, I always used to live a double life. You know, I had like my day job, and then I had side hustle, and then, you know, all these different things going on in my life. And it was confusing for a while. Like, it's like, who am I? Like, what's my purpose? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Right? And that can bring on those feelings, dark night of the soul, especially if we feel like people aren't going to be receptive to what we're doing and we're kind of doubting ourselves. Okay. We have Two of Swords here. And oh my God, it's so funny because I feel like this card just explains everything I've been trying to say. It's like, I have ideas and I've thought this through, and I just don't know how to like make it happen for myself. Okay. I'm just not sure how to approach this. I'm not sure what to think about this. I'm not sure how I want to do this. It's kind of that energy of being a little bit indecisive and held back. And Spirit is saying, you know, to break this kind of like self-doubt or streak of being a little bit indecisive, be bold and make the first move. Also with synergy, other people being there, being open to you, being willing to help, or even connecting with other people on what you're doing, I feel like might be a way to get you out of a rut if you're experiencing that. We have the Four of Swords. Feathers could be a huge sign for you in pile number 2, you know, when Spirit is trying to reach you and you see a feather, or you see one while you're sleeping or in your dream. But you know, there's a lot of swords energy here. So it might be hard for you at night. You know, that might be when you feel like either you're good at night or you're struggling with nighttime, one or the other, I feel like here. And some of you guys may be thinking and over analyzing quite a bit here. But, and you know, a lot of times, like, there's a quote, I think it's by T.S. Eliot, where he says, like, the dark night of the soul is, you know, being up at 3 a.m., you know, and it can make us feel very like drained during the daytime as well. Like we didn't get enough sleep, that we're super tired. We could have headaches. It feels like someone's banging a drum in our head. And our ideas are maybe not as clear as they could be, right? So there could be something about that here for you. We have Labradorite, magic. Has your life gotten dull, mundane, and repetitive? Labradorite is an earth-colored stone that promotes groundedness, but its iridescent sheen brings the mystical and magical into the physical plane. The light from the sheen helps deflect negativity. Labradorite is the bringer of light and helps raise consciousness. To add sparkle to my life, I sprinkle my day with mystical, magical, and light-filled moments. Yeah, if you've been feeling like nobody's really, I have ideas, I have some thoughts, but I don't think, like, I've just been bored, or I sleep all the time, or I haven't, you know, whether it's sleeping too much or waking up in the middle of the night, you know, life just feeling like very dull or boring, right? That can be experiencing despair and dark night of the soul too. And Spirit's saying, you know, for you, you're a very magical person. You can make things happen. You can bring things into form, and you can work with a lot of different energies at once. And I think that's kind of the key to keeping, it's like, you know, in school when you're like a third grader, but you're already learning at like an 8th grade level, but yet they stick you in the 3rd grader class, you know, and you're just bored. You're just disassociated, bored, feeling listless, feeling uninspired, not being able to like truly, like maybe not even being able feeling free to even explain your ideas. And it's like, fine, I'll just sit here, you know, that type of energy, right? And it's a real dull feeling or repetitive or mundane, right? Just that I just have to sit here and wait it out, you know, which kind of sucks, because I feel like pile number 2, like, you know, Spirit is saying like, it's almost like it is time to be unique. Inventor, raccoon, decide on what you really want. You have the ingenuity to claim it. You have the smarts. You have the skill. You have these things to kind of claim it and do it, right? We have goblins. Oh, Lord, have mercy. The fucking goblins, pile number 2. Jesus Christ. Well, you know, the creatures that go bump in the night, right? And yeah, there just might be some unsavory characters around you at this time, or people in your environment who've been very challenging or negative, or yeah, or just jealous as well, or people who, you know, and also too, goblins can be like within our, you know, it's like within ourselves in a way, right? Where it's like, I'm afraid of something, or I'm doubting myself, or I don't know if I can do that, right? Those pesky fucking goblins, pile number 2. And talk about dark night of the soul, right? With the goblins, and definitely some disturbances happening at nighttime. Some of you guys may have actually been having dreams or dreams with creatures or people in them that are shadowy kind of creatures, right? Or getting a little bit, you know, it's like the Freddy Krueger nightmare, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I can't sleep because once I do, I'm gonna be overrun with these fucking goblins, you know? And it's like with the 2 of Swords, it's also where, you know, it's like at night, I feel like the overthinking might start. Okay, we have worry. Yeah, I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome, right? So worrying about what's coming, or worrying about the next day, worrying about what other people think, worrying about what, you know, money as well. Maybe some of you guys a little bit concerned about money at times as well. You know, the goblins are like the demons in our head too. It's like the things that hold us back from really feeling like that we have, you know, it's the shadowy characters that live within our own psyches too, telling us you're worthless, you can't do anything, you don't have what it takes, right? Like, that's bullshit. And you guys are, I feel like you guys are very, you know, you could have Aquarius energy, Aries energy, Cardinal, Sun, Moon, Rising, etc., Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, self-starters, entrepreneurs even, bringing something into form. We have El Shaddai, the Radiant Lord, wisdom, paternalism, and kindness. El Shaddai, the Radiant Lord, okay? And yeah, you guys know what you're doing. You guys are this energy. Look at the way the magic is flowing off of his fingertips. Look at how focused he is. You know, you're a radiant, you know, you're a radiant Lord in your own right, pile number 2. And you have a lot of magic to share with other people. You have a lot of gifts to share with other people. You're responsible, I feel like, too, with this paternalism. I feel you are responsible with people. You hold them to a certain standard, but you also, you know, and you could worry if you're a parent, or you have friends that you feel like a parent to, or you've got brothers and sisters or people in your life, you know, you may worry about them at times as well. And that may keep you up at night, or keep you worried and wondering, you know, what the F is going on, right? And that can certainly put us into that kind of dark night of the soul, or feeling despair, you know, worrying about like what other decisions people are making, what they're doing, what you should do, right? And maybe sometimes feeling like, well, I should do this, right? I should be doing things this way. I should be succeeding at this, or there's a certain idea in society of like how I should be doing things. And I feel about money too, for sure. There may be some times when you have despaired about money or projects, or felt this sense of like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with these ideas? Why can't I sleep at night? Okay, there's some genius, some inventor energy, some Aquarian type energy coming through you, pile number 2. And I want to look at this El Shaddai here, El Shaddai, and see what it says. Let's see. El Shaddai. El Shaddai. Makes me take my time. The Prince, Oriasis, the Empress. Oh, El Shaddai. The shining God of wisdom and kindness, El Shaddai and the court of the Elohim represent the inclination towards good in mortals. As such, he is the balance of Abaddon, and he has the respect and awe of all, including the other gods. In El Shaddai, find the beneficial aspects of the devoted father figure, a source to turn to when seeking the most correct, wisest course in any proposed action. Okay, and maybe some of you guys had some tough relationships with your father or a parental figure in your life, or maybe they asked you, like, what are you doing with your life and why are you doing this, right? But I also just see it as you having your own like wisdom and clarity about what it is that you want to do and being able to take responsibility for that and put it into motion. Capricorn energy for sure. Saturn energy, okay? Saturn is in Aquarius right now. So, you know, if you have Saturn in Aquarius and you're dealing with that energy, I mean, Saturn is at home in Aquarius. Saturn is at home in Aquarius. That's, you know, one of the signs of Saturn's domicile. So it's not the worst energy, but like, you know, it's also like Saturn in Aquarius is kind of weird because we want to be responsible and have integrity with what we're doing. We don't want to take shortcuts. We want to be like a man or a woman of the people. But sometimes I think it makes us, you know, like, it's like not getting paid what you're worth, okay? And I think that's, you know, sometimes that can be like with just getting our material needs met. When we can't do that, we feel despair or we feel that dark night of the soul, okay? And we have card 41, bring it into form here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. It says, beautiful dreamer, you can imagine wonderful worlds of light. You can dream up so many possibilities. Now is the time to bring those possibilities of light into the world. They need to be more than ideas. They need to live, to manifest. The world needs not only your dreams, beautiful as they are, but also your creations. Get thee to thy desk, thy easel, thy computer. Work, beautiful dreamer. Don't just dream, create. You're being asked to honor yourself with a commitment to complete your inspired tasks. This will help you to grow, and that is a wonderful reason to commit. But there is another reason too. You know that your inspired ideas are worth translating into practical forms so that other people can access them and experience something special too. If you've been thinking about writing a book, painting a picture, acting on an inspiration or idea, then this oracle is bringing you to an unequivocal yes, do it now. Don't dally or dither about the details or worry about how it's all going to work out. The universe loves a bold spirit. Once you take a step, it will rush toward you like an enthusiastic, chivalrous lover, opening doors, hand gently guiding you at your lower back as you are moved forward. All right? The universe loves a bold spirit. Yes, indeed. That is so true. Okay, let's see what else it says here. Although something may be lost when turning a multidimensional concept of endless potential into something concrete, this oracle guides you to realize there is so much more to be gained. You must become free of this. So that you can receive your next inspiration. Yeah, you must become free of this inspiration so that you can receive your next inspiration. It's already waiting for you. So onward you must go. This oracle also confirms that the information you need to translate your ideas into form will be provided according to the higher wisdom of life. It may or may not happen by traditional routes. Yeah, the Aquarius energy for sure. Even if it seems unimaginable, when it is time for something to be born into form, nothing can stop it. It will happen. Yeah, have you ever seen a woman who's 9 months pregnant, like in the middle of labor? Like, no, sorry, your baby's just gonna have to stay in there forever. That doesn't happen, pile number 2. That's not a thing, you know? Like when the baby comes, it comes. It's coming into fruition. All right, so good points there from from Alana Fairchild's Sacred Rebels guidebook there about, you know, bringing things into form so that the next idea can come to you, right? As creators, like sometimes I'll get ideas about things and I'll be like, I don't know if I should do that, or yeah, I'm not sure. And then I'm like, give me another idea, you know? And then it's like Spirit doesn't really let up. It's like, no. Like you need to go with it, and then you'll get a lot more ideas, and we'll give you a lot more, but you need to do what you're being asked to do right now. This whole reading, I've been channeling the word obedience, okay? And there is something to be said for obedience, you know, when it comes to what you're meant to bring into form, you know, don't resist it. Okay, pile number 2. So thank you so much. Be aligned in your magic, pile number 2, with the Labradorite, okay? And lots of synergy awaits you. So thank you so much, pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed your reading, my friends, and I hope to see you again real soon. Take care. Okay, pile number 3. Moving on to pile number 3. Okay. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. Today's reading is for those who are experiencing despair or dark night of the soul, all right? And you guys chose this Apache tear stone, and I absolutely love this. I got this during my final days while I was living in Seattle, like a little before I left, a season before I left, a season that was fairly dark for me and really needed to let go of a lot and deep grief. So the Apache tear is here to help protect us, ground us, and help us let go when we need to let go. So thank you so much, pile number 3, for choosing your pile. You know, in life, sometimes we hit those crossroads where it's like we have no choice, we have to let go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into your reading. And I've got this Earth Magic roll-on oil here, and I just, you know, sometimes if you're feeling depressed or you're feeling really heavy in your heart, sometimes smells will make us feel better. Like this has like moss agate and neon apatite, and it has orange peel and stuff like that in it too. Lime or lemon, I forget what else is in there, but it's good stuff, you know. And sometimes that memory of that smell is enough to kind of like help our brains kind of work through the energy. Okay, so let's do it. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to my beautiful pile number 3s as we go ahead and look at those who are experiencing despair right now and dark night of the soul. Let's go ahead and do it. Focus on the light, number 37. All right, there's a beautiful light in this sunflower, and you know, sometimes it's really dark, you know, really dark in our lives. And for those of you that struggle with seasonal depression, I'm right there with you. I know how that is, and I know how that can be, especially leading into the winter months when there's less light. I mean, we haven't even hit autumn yet. We're still in early September, but I think sometimes that feeling of like the days are getting shorter, there's less sun, can be hard for challenging for people. And also if you've just been going through a dark period of your life where Spirit is saying, you know, we're going to help you rise up and help you work through this energy. We have disseminating moon, take time to breathe out. It can be really hard to get your breath, you know, when you're going through a deep period of despair or dark night of the soul. You know, taking a deep breath and releasing it all out can just feel like so challenging and so hard at times. And Spirit is telling you, reminding you here to make sure you're trying to get those deep breaths in and deep breaths out. When we're going through a lot of grief or despair, a lot of times our breath becomes very shallow and tight in our chest, okay? Solar plexus, all right, yeah, working with that breath of fire. The frequency of the solar plexus, the yellow flower of life, the sunflower, there it is twice, the yellow sunflower, solar plexus chakra, supports our sense of self, our personal power, our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. You know, sometimes when we're feeling hopeless, worthless, we're feeling like we don't belong, like people don't care, or that, you know, what we're doing isn't valuable, or we question ourselves, right? The solar plexus helps to remind us. The solar plexus is the jewel, you know, it's like the city of a thousand jewels, or whatever, the city of, I forget I'll have to go look that up, but it has to do with like the jewel. That's what the soul, the diamond jewel, like that shining energy. And it's interesting because on my my Instagram handle is the roving jewel, which very much is, I was channeling that solar plexus energy, chakra energy when I was thinking about that. Okay, so yeah, it's about, you know, sometimes it takes a lot of willpower to go on. You know, it takes a lot of willpower to get out of bed. It takes a lot of willpower to just face the day, you know, and Spirit's saying, taking time to breathe out here. We have humpback whale and singer. All right, so maybe some of you guys are singers or writers or creatives in some way. It says, sing healing songs for the world. Your inner navigation always guides you. Yeah, sometimes mantra. You know, there's certain mantras that you can chant to heal the world. There's certain like meditations online, on YouTube you can join in on, right? There's certain songs. I know if you're feeling like really sensitive, certain songs can really, really impact me quite deeply, especially when I'm in a period of feeling very sensitive, you know. So also too, like paying attention to kind of the music you're listening to. Your inner navigation always guides you. Nothing can stop you or keep you from your goal. Align with your purpose and the power in your soul, okay? The humpback whale fierce and beautiful creature. Very amazing creature. And I love the moonlight here. It's like the sun with the moon, the light and the dark, and telling you to align with your purpose and the power that lives in your soul. Okay, pile number 3, beautiful message. We have the Emperor, right? Okay. So, you know, it's kind of looking at things from a higher perspective, right? And, you know, it can feel like this, where we're just going to our jobs every day, or we're just, you know, and we feel like controlled by other people or oppressed by the forces around us, that we're just like a puppet on a string, and I'm not making a difference. What is my life worth anyway? You know, this Emperor energy is also like, you know, saying, you know, I'm the master of my destiny. I'm the master of my universe. And I love the checkered floor here, because it does kind of remind me, you know, of the halls of, you know, the Hall of Records or the Akashic Records, okay? And each one of us has a purpose in the Hall of Records, in the Akasha. And we don't always, you know, like sometimes it just feels like we're meandering and purposeless, you know? And Spirit is saying with this Emperor solar plexus energy, it's like fire, but also, you know, your healing song or your purpose is calling for you right now. Pile number 3 is what I feel here too. And, you know, like I said, the willpower, the Emperor is definitely like in control of things, is managing everything, and is, you know, on top of their game, and certainly has a lot of willpower too, right? And that's wonderful. That's like wonderful energy to have, but we don't always feel that way, you know? Like sometimes we don't feel powerful, or like we're in control of our life, or that we even know what we're doing, you know? But and maybe some of you have been to be in this role where you've had to be a leader, or you've had to drive something, or drive project results, or be a parent, or be the one in charge, right? But when we do that all the time, it gets exhausting, you know, and Spirit is saying here, take time to breathe out, right? That's going to help you get back in alignment with what it is that you actually want, instead of like living your life for others, which can happen sometimes with unrealized Emperor energy. We have 7 of Wands. Okay. So, you know, this type of energy, feeling like you are, you know, if I don't do it, if I don't get after this and do it, it's not ever going to get done. You know, always feeling like you have to fight for what it is that you want. Always feeling like if I don't do this, or if I don't do this, then it's not ever going to happen, right? Which, you know, it's almost like, is it over? Sometimes in life, the way we respond to things, it's like we can get too much yang energy, or we can get too much yin energy, right? And, you know, you have to know kind of maybe what side of the spectrum you're falling on, pile number 3. Do you need, you know, have things just been beating up on you lately? Have things been asinine? Have people just been beating up on you? Have you felt beat up by things? Have you been exhausted? Have you been tired? Do you need time to rest? Okay. Or have you been like too much yin? Do you need to step up more actively into your life and with more authority, but also take time to breathe out, right? So Spirit's asking you that right now. We have picture Jasper, law of attraction. Is there a situation that is frustrating you? Perhaps you are too close to the matter and need to stand back to see the bigger picture. Yeah, this Emperor really is going to get this 360-degree view of everything, right? Viewing a situation in its entirety allows you to recognize the divine order and perfection of it all. When you understand that you are the creator of your reality, it will give you the power to attract positive things into your life. My outer world is a reflection of what's within. I am mindful that my thoughts and words shape my reality. Law of attraction, all right? So yeah, and some people feel very wounded by the law of attraction. It's like, well, if things aren't going right, you know, the law of attraction actually pisses me off sometimes, because it's like, well, if something in my life isn't going right, then it's like blaming it on yourself. Well, you obviously manifested that, or you called that in, or you asked for that experience, right? Which can feel very frustrating. You know, there are aspects of like modern day spirituality that are very frustrating. And I think as in Western society, we tend to fall more to the yang side of things. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps, figure it out. You know, we exhaust ourselves, right? We don't spend enough time sleeping or playing or creating or dreaming. And then if we don't get what we want, or we can't manifest it, we get frustrated and we blame, you know, ourselves and say, well, I must not be, you know, aligned to this. I need to work harder, which sometimes we do need to work harder for something. It's, you know, but also other times it's not under our control. As much as we fight something, it really isn't under our control, you know? And so, and that's wrestling with willpower in a way, you know, with where am I going to direct my energy and how much am I going to put into it? And, you know, at one point, does it start to become kind of violating to feel like just giving our power over to a situation unquestioningly, you know, like that doesn't feel good either. We have magic prayer, card 32, right? So definitely releasing into a more yin space, probably for some of you here. And I see the number 6 for those of you that resonate with the number 6, or you have a birthday in June, or your birthday adds up to a 6 or is on the 6th. But, you know, there's a magical prayer right now that, and mantra, like I said, mantra to help open it up, to open up this willpower. If you need it opened, or you need to be more yin, right? What is it? Because it does feel like it's almost too much yang in a way here. All right, so magical prayer, number 32, and we have peace. I love that. I love that. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. Yeah, and I get greater perspective on things, and I see things for what they are, and I see when things are just an illusion, and I know when it's time to stop fighting something and relax, and I know when to stop blaming myself and just recognize I did the best I could, you know, and finding peace in that. All right, let's see what else we have here. We have Abaddon, overlord of the abyss, pestilence, corruption, and malice. All right, and to me, this reminds me of when we look at the world and we just get in despair about what's going on in the world. Like, or we look at our job, or we look at the people in our life, or we look at situations, and it just feels like a lot of despair. Like, there's so much corruption, you know, who holds the power here? Like willing, you know, sorry guys, that's my dog. Like people lording their energy over others, right? And finding a way to escape that and find peace. I feel like, is, and boundaries, you know, with the solar plexus, it's like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to, you know, and it's almost like if you let yourself go down that path, pile number 3, then it feels like a dark night of the soul. Like, why does the world have to be this way? Why do people act this way? Why, you know, why can't people see the truth? Why is there so much fucking corruption? You know, and it's true, there is a lot of corruption and ill intent in the world. And, but as this card says here, Spirit is saying, focus on the light, okay? And focus on your peace. And let's look at, I want to look at Abaddon here and Overlord of the Abyss. And then we're going to look at focus on the light. Okay, and let's go ahead and see. An unknown alien being, the great devil of the abyss, Abaddon wages eternal war. The Lord of pestilence and corruption. He is a methodical, thorough destroyer. Yeah, somebody who actually enjoys getting off on controlling others and treating others like puppets. You know, greed, pestilence, all these things where people are consumed with their drive for power. Maybe some of you guys have dealt with people like this, or dealt with narcissists, or dealt with people who are very, you know, seductive in the way that they use power. The Lord of pestilence and corruption. He is a methodical, thorough destroyer who nonetheless enjoys using trickery to seduce souls away from El Shaddai and his enemies. Abaddon represents the inclination towards evil in the world, the worst of all instincts and actions, natural or unnatural, where other demons and devils engage in cruelties out of ego, delusion, or a twisted sense of vengeance. Abaddon knows what he is doing and takes pleasure in evil for its own sake. Psychopaths, narcissists, things like that. Okay, so, you know, maybe you've had people who have tried to overpower you in this way, or have tried to put limitations on you, or tried to control you, or were violent with you even, you know, physically violent with you, pile number 3, okay? And maybe you've been through some relationships like that, friendships, romantic relationship, family relationships, and, you know, with law of attraction, maybe sometimes, you know, blaming it on yourself, taking it on yourself, right? And Spirit's saying, you know, peace is really what, you know, taking time to breathe out, and peace is really what Spirit, you know, wants to bring you right now. Humpback whales too, like they can travel so far from home and, you know, still find their soul tribe, I feel like, with the humpback whale. All right. Nothing can stop you or keep you from what you want to do, pile number 3. Align with your purpose and the power in your soul. And I know how that is, you know, when you go through a really bad experience with someone and it puts you into that dark night of the soul. All right. It says focus on the light, card 37 here. So I'm going to read a little bit about this card for you, pile number 3, and let's go ahead and see. A tremendous force of light is gathering around you. It is attracted to the purity of your intention to create from your heart. As your intention grows, so does the light. The light grows, so does your intention. Magic wants to happen for you now. The synchronicity, perfect timing, and opportunities and information that are needed will seem to be drawn right to your door. You may start to feel as if you can't walk outside without stumbling into something helpful, wonderful, and inspiring. Oh, I love that for you, pile number 3. You might be startled at this interplay of light with your heart as it evokes many new successes and attracts an abundance of opportunities your way. You may need to adjust as the field of light grows stronger and its effects becomes more palpable. It may bring rather dramatic improvements into your world. You may be uncomfortable or feel out of your depth with some of these changes. This would be understandable, but it would be a shame for you to hold on to any resistance for anything more than a brief moment. Any resistance or fear will inhibit the continuing free flow of the light so that it can manifest its beauty through you in a physical world where it's needed, okay? And let's see, sometimes success can be like a powerful mirror and a shining searchlight as it shows up in what was already within someone or in a group of people. Under the spotlight of success, it is more intense, amplified, and obvious. this can give us an opportunity to sow the seeds of our own destruction, or right, with this Abaddon, destruction and pestilence, or to work on what arises from a heart-centered perspective to create a firmer foundation that supports even greater attainment. Okay, so let's see what else. Even if the light that is drawn to you flows through you, it has some dazzling effects. You don't have to get caught up in it. Doing so you might start worrying that you are unworthy or that you would be unable to keep up. This worry will constrict possibilities rather than allowing the free flow of light. You have permission to simply be appreciative of the light and enjoy it as you continue to focus on what really matters, the pure intention of your heart and your desire to create. This oracle also brings another message. Don't be distracted by other paths around you at this time, as you are too close to succeeding on the one you're on now. Diluting your energies in the pursuit of too much will slow down your success, and the world needs your light to shine sooner rather than later. In time, you may diversify and explore other ways to express yourself, but for now, build what you're working on and know that success is coming swiftly. Okay, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful, pile number 3. And really standing your ground. It's like, I think you're finding a good balance between yin and yang here, okay? And let's see, as far as for what pile number 3 is going through here, spirits, angels, and guides, what can you tell me about the dark night of the soul right now for my pile number 3s, please? 6 of Wands, there you are. I mean, I think you're gonna come out of this stronger, wiser. You're gonna come out of this winning. And I do think that there are things in your life that are going really well. Some of you are gonna get public acclaim. You're gonna be noticed. You may be a little bit uncomfortable with the attention that you're getting for those of you that are in the public eye, but you are gonna be seen as a leader, right? And, you know, I think Spirit is saying you're doing so many things so well right now. You know, don't exhaust yourself, number one. And if you ever doubt yourself too, like 6 of Wands, you can't always see the way other people see you, pile number 3, but if you could, I think it would totally rock your world. Okay, yeah, Queen of Cups. You know, you have so much to give others. You have so much. You can help others through their journey too, as they're working to become more confident and to step out into the light, right? You could be a counselor, a shaman, a psychic, a helper, or just a really fucking good person that can really listen to people and be there for people when they are gonna go through their own dark night of the soul, okay? And you're very like mothering and nurturing and caring in that way, okay? And you know, I just heard that song by Poison, like, give me something to believe in, right? And I feel like you do that for others, like in their darkest hour, you give them something to believe in or look forward to. And that's a beautiful thing, right? So it's very beautiful, the work, the Empress, right? And the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. So, I mean, the Hierophant leads us through the dark night of the soul, is what I kind of feel. You know, like the Hierophant pulls us through that and gives us the perseverance and stamina to spiritually sustain ourselves when we're going through dark periods. And you know, there is a lot of abundance for you, and there's so much that you're doing right now. And, you know, with the Empress, I'm just really drawn to the Queen of Heaven. You know, when we think of Empress, I think of Venus, and I think of the Queen of Heaven, okay? It's beautiful. Beautiful creations, beautiful integrity to what you're doing. And, you know, and also I feel it's not like I don't feel like you're maybe a little too humble at times, pile number 3. I don't feel like you're a person that brags or does stuff like that, right? I think you're almost too humble in a way, and you do have a lot to share with the world. You have a lot of talents and expertise and comfort and care to help others, okay, and to help guide them through their dark night of the soul. And, you know, Spirit's saying here, focus on the light, right? Focus on the light, because that's what's going to sustain you and pull you through this. Even though there is darkness in the world, even though there is, you know, pestilence and corruption and malice. And even though there are these things, you know, and I do think that if there isn't yet, I do think there are some people in your life that really admire you, love you, and have your back, okay? And a lot of times we don't even know like what well we're being fed from. And I feel like Empress is also your guide. Like you're the Queen of Cups. The Empress is your guide, like feeding you this kind of love and devotion. All right. And yeah, and there's something that's been coming through in all three readings, so I figured I would mention it here. You know, especially when we're going through the dark night of the soul and we're experiencing despair, right? It's hard to sometimes count our blessings and think about the things that are going right and the differences that we are making. And it's hard to surrender and be obedient. And I think that's, you know, obedience is the word that's been kind of coming through. And, you know, not obedience in the sense that we bend our will to the will of others and we're not allowed to have our own thoughts and feelings and life path, not that type of obedience, but obedience, you know, to our higher calling, obedience to our higher path, you know. And if we are going through something, like, you know, letting others help us, letting others help bring us through that period in a successful way, helping others, you know, repaying the favor. And, you know, that sense of obedience of why we're here why we're here, basically, I think pile number 3. It's an interesting word that's been coming through in all the readings. And, you know, certainly the Emperor is very sovereign and the 7 of Wands is very really good about defending that sovereignty. And I think you have that in you. You have that in there. But with this Queen of Wands, it's like, it's softer. All right. The Empress and the Queen of Wands, it's softer. Okay. And you are, so if you could see the way people see you as being, you know, very beautiful, very loving, very caring, and very giving, all right? And I do feel like in this world and in the spirit world, there are many people that admire you and see what you do and are standing up to cheer for you right now, pile number 3, okay? So thank you so much, my loves, and I wish you peace on your path. I send healing to everyone who's experiencing despair or dark night of the soul, and just sending you loads of love. So thank you so much, everybody, and take care on your path. Blessings.